Hello and welcome to the Print Political Adda. Today, the big headline of the day is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first visit as Prime Minister to the RSS headquarters yesterday in Nagpur. As I suggested, this is the first time that as PM Modi has gone to the RSS headquarters, and this is a politically very, very significant sort of development. And to discuss more about what the significance of this development is, we are joined by Ratan Sharda ji, who is a lifelong member of the RSS and quite a scholarly voice on the RSS, and Neelam Pandey, who is an editor with ThePrint. Thank you so much, Ratanji, for joining us. So first up, I want to understand from you what took the Prime Minister so long, more than 10 years, to go to the RSS headquarters as Prime Minister for the first time. And what do you think the significance of his visit 10 years into his tenure now is?
Sane, I would rather ask a question that why any sitting PM has ever gone to RSS headquarters for the first time. See, RSS by itself is very reticent. Not many office bearers of any, especially government officials have visited RSS headquarters for all these years. Even Atalji visited it only after he retired. So there is
Yes.
scrupulous reason for keeping the power politics or political leaders away from RSS. There is no question of or no guess about RSS interfering in the government. So there is a very conscious decision to keep away from these such visits, and that is the reason. Though Modi ji did sit with the RSS chief twice during last few days during the Ram Temple and also his foundation laying. So this is main thing. Even the name we keep on giving like Pranab Mukherjee ji, other people, they all visited after they limited the office because to
Yeah.
keep a distance from power has been the one of the binding view of RSS. And I would just give one example that Raju Bhaiya, Professor Rajendra Singh, when he was the Sarsang Chalak, he would not allow the political leaders to visit him in public because if anybody, because he had a very vast student following, because he was 25 years, he was professor of physics in Allahabad University, but he would say, as an office bearer, I don't want you to be seen as offering your respect, etc. to me. So you are my student, visit me privately, you wish. And in one case where there's a minister in the meeting, he requested the minister to come up on the stage. When asked, he said, "You are a minister, you hold a constitutional post. It should appear that you are sitting below me and you must sit with me." So that is how scrupulous the RSS leaders are about it.
Well, Sharda ji, since the BJP is below par, below expectation performance in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, there has been speculation has been rife about the differences between the BJP and the RSS. Obviously, both have never said anything about it, but the speculation has always been there. What impact do you think, if at all, this visit will have on the cadre as well as the workers?
See, first of all, regarding the differences between RSS and BJP, BJP is in a political field, RSS is in a cultural field and social field. Naturally, they have different spheres of influence and different spheres of working. So RSS can give advice like any other organization or any other NGO to the government, but it's for the government to take the decision. So there can be difference of opinion, but like any family, especially of RSS family, these differences don't become public spectacle. They are discussed, and they are the one whoever is to concede the ground will concede the ground. That has been the history for all these years. Another example I'll give is RSS chief Balasaheb Devras. When BJP was formed, you will remember they talked about Gandhian socialism as their guiding principle. It was Atalji and Advani ji. There are many people who are very upset. In fact, Rajmata Sindhya, she spoke in public in the conference of the BJP criticizing this particular decision. When the Swayamsaks went to Balasaheb, they were telling him what has happened to BJP, what is all this newfangled idea of Gandhian socialism, which actually has no definition, but why integral humanism has been given a go by, as integral humanism is the binding principle for Bharatiya Janata and BJP, pronounced by Deendayal Upadhyay ji. At that time, Balasaheb Dara said, "See, our Swayamsaks are there in the political field. They have been there for a long time. They know their field, and we should let them do what they want to do. We have trust in them." That is the biggest thing he said. We have trust in them, let them do what they want to do. We will see over a period of time what happens. Then he paused and said, I can assure you in next few years, they will come back to Hindutva. So this is 1980-84. And as you know, by 1986, Advani ji talked about Palanpur resolution, that Ram Mandir, and Ram Mandir became the focal point of BJP. And that is how they reached from two to wherever they are today. So there is a commitment to Hindutva which has come back. So even despite such a huge difference, it didn't become public. And Bala Sahib Deva said, no doubt at all that as Swayamsevak, what they are doing, they will decide themselves. So you can say the same thing about Modi ji also, that whatever Modi ji is doing as a lifelong pracharak and a hardcore Swayamsevak, which he has never hidden. He's not very unapologetic about it. So if he has taken some decision, RSS doesn't go out and start criticizing in public. They will talk about it whenever they meet, because there is something called Samanvay in RSS, where all the political, not just political, every national organization comes and meets and discusses about their issues. Now, you talked about the differences. So I explained to you the differences is 2024. So as far as workers are concerned, this particular visit will huge impact on the confidence of both BJP and RSS workers. And RSS workers will feel much more assured. And BJP workers who have joined 2000 after 2014, who think that because of Modi ji, they can win any battle, any war, and any political, election, etc. They forget the hard work done on the street because they have not seen it. They have seen just victorious Modi ji and BJP riding on Modi ji's shoulder all these years. So for them, the disasters or shortcomings or I would say setbacks, they had never seen. So for them, it was a kind of a trauma. While for us, we have grown through all this, we have seen the rise and fall and again rise of BJP and other organizations. For us, it is a normal understanding of the politics. So for them also, it's a very big lesson that we are all working in together in different fields, but when required, we are all together. I would say that is how I would look at it.
Neelam, if I can quickly jump in, sir, you spoke about how the RSS has very consciously, over so many decades, very scrupulously maintained a distance, at least publicly, from politics. But now, the Prime Minister's visit, what do you think that signifies? Has the public distancing between RSS and politics, has that become a little redundant over the years? What does this visit signify?
As I said, this visit only signifies of the people who keep guessing about RSS BJP relationship. Because they want to speak, they can speak behind the camera, they can speak directly on phone, they can meet each other. There is no need to go public and show that they are together. It is just the public optics that you are worried about. For me, it's just one of those issues on which Modi ji wanted to clearly come out that any doubt that any worker had about any distance between BJP and RSS, that is that particular guessing game of the journalists and also the workers would simply, die down. I would put it that way, because relations earlier were good, they are good now, and there can be differences even again in coming years, of course, because we as organization will have our own views, but person is fighting the elections and making governments their own views. So beyond a point, I don't think RSS Karyakartas have any doubt that they cannot really interfere in day-to-day working. And Modi ji's message is only not just, which is for detractors, for media, and also for young BJP workers to understand the deep connect that every organization has with each other.
Right, Shadaji, if I could take you back to that comment by JP Nadda, it was much debated and talked about, where he had said, that the party had become sort of self-sufficient and it could stand on its own. It did not require the RSS the way it used to, and we saw it's being debated, but we saw the impact it had on the Lok Sabha elections. Well, what role does RSS play, in elections? Why is their presence so important? When BJP itself has a huge cadre, so why did we see that in 2024 Lok Sabha election the tally got reduced? But soon after this realization in the BJP, as many point out, and we saw the results in Maharashtra as well as in other states. So what is it that RSS has that one can't do without as far as elections are concerned?
First of all, see, I have already talked about Naddaji's statement in many, many times in different
Yes.
interviews, because I have advocated the same line in my own books, that every organization that grows out of RSS by any Swayamsevak is given support as long as the organization requires it, as long as it's weak. Even as back as the Advani ji taking the command of BJP, he requested RSS to provide Sangathan Mantris. So after many years, Sangathan Mantris were provided. And they were delegated to the BJP. Some of them returned, like Ramlaji has returned, and Ram Madha has returned. So depending on the person's inclination, they have been sent there. But beyond that, BJP is a very large organization. It is in some way, some people, Nalin Mehta calls it bigger than RSS. Though difference is odious because having a missed call member or having a 1 rupee or 4 rupee member is very different from the trained karyakarta that RSS creates on the ground in its shakhas. So the comparison is not right, but still, BJP has been ruling for a long time. It is ruling in so many states. It has got its own cadre, its own full timers. Naturally, it should not require RSS support. On that, I'm one with Nadaji. Problem was the timing of the statement. Like every time we talk about the timing of the statement and incompleteness of the statement, which I said earlier also in many discussions that maybe he would have added that, but still we work together or something like that. But what is done because sometimes in interview somebody can make a draft, even I can make a draft, and he didn't mean that because he's an RSS ABP worker for lifelong, and he knows he can't do without that organization because that is who has got him there. But in today's timing of 30-second clips, one headliner where somebody says we don't need RSS, only that is read. When that is read, the people who today have become so, SMS oriented and single line oriented opinion deciders, they will say, "अच्छा जरूरत नहीं है, we don't need us." Naturally, it might have hurt, but I won't say the statement by itself was wrong. And it was said in the middle of the election campaign, and I think that also might have hurt some people, but that is not the main reason. Main reason of the fake news spread by a Congress party using big video ruts and going lane to lane, spreading fake news about constitution to be scrapped and reservations to be scrapped. And unfortunately, that overconfident cadre of BJP did not understand the gravity of that particular fake news spread. And that is where BJP suffered a lot, not because RSS people did not work or they could not work together, because wherever they were working together, I gave an example of 130,000 meetings in Delhi and around Delhi, mini meetings, and about 60,000 when I last heard were the meetings held at the local level by RSS people. And RSS in any election simply says go and vote. It says Shat Prachat Matdan, vote to the people who support the nation. Beyond that, there is people for people to decide. But do go and vote. That has been the stance since 2014. And you will see that voting percentage has come up after 2014. It has remained high. So RSS cadre specialty is day-to-day contact with the people. For the Shakha, for the regular program, they have day-to-day contact. Well, BJP being a political party, their cadre may be generally active around election time. So that is where the sense of the people on the ground is very important feedback that can come only from people who are working every day on the ground. So I would say that is the biggest differentiator why RSS support matters.
Well, this visit of the PM to the RSS headquarters has also, come at a time when the BJP is in the process of selecting its new president to replace JP Nadda. Well, many say that several rounds of meetings have taken place between senior BJP leaderships and Sangh leaders. So how do you see all that in relation to this visit?
As I said, we need not link this visit to all these decisions. These decisions are taken in the back rooms, in the individual discussions. So I don't think it needed a Nagpur visit to discuss these issues because there are so many platforms, so many avenues where they can meet and they do meet as I said, talked about coordination meeting, etc. So I don't think this can be linked to the Nagpur visit at all. But yes, BJP may be finding it difficult. There may be matter of too many choices to choose from the president for the presidentship of BJP. And these differences will be sorted out soon, I hope. Because to my mind, it should not have taken so much of time. But in this, BJP itself has its own dilemmas or its own issues, which you should ask BJP, not me. But definitely, there is no dearth of talent and no dearth of people who can take up the responsibility. But after all, the top two leaders are still there. So, Mr. Amit Shah and Modi ji both are there and president will work with them in tandem. So they require a person who will be moving all around India, taking meeting cadre, training them, and also trying to instill that sense of hard work that is required, and reaching every nook and corner because BJP as a party is very passionate about reaching out to people, fighting elections, and winning the elections. So for that, you need a very alert president who will take people along. And so it's for BJP to decide, I think.
Right.
And whether names
Uh,
came up, whether RSS gave some opinion, I have no clue at all.
Shadaji, we cannot obviously conjecture about what transpired in the meeting yesterday, but one thing we all know is public knowledge is that both Mohan Bhagwatji and Prime Minister Modi are going to turn 75 years old in September this year. So we can't get into what exactly is being planned about who will succeed Prime Minister Modi, who will succeed Bhagwatji. But theoretically speaking, where does RSS actually stand on this 75-year rule as of now? Both both for political posts as well as the post of the Sarsang Jalak.
I think this is a folklore about RSS that people must retire at 75. Because pracharaks retire when they feel they are not fit enough physically. I know pracharak who is hardly 65 and has retired to Pune, senior pracharak's home because he's not keeping fit. And there are pracharaks who even at 90 are working full time and very healthily till the last moment. But yes, where the office is very onerous, where you have to do a lot of travel, many pracharaks would like to give those jobs up because this travel is very taxing, where it takes toll of the health. Many pracharaks end up with heart attacks, blood pressure, and diabetes. So these are the reasons for a pracharak to take a step back and take some lighter responsibility. None of them retire still. It is not possible for them to work. As far as satsang chalak is concerned, the normal connection of the satsang chalak will remain a satsang chalak till he is there, as long as he's alive and in good health. This was first time broken by Balasaheb Devras when he realized that is not fit enough physically and he voluntarily retired. That practice went on, but none of the Sarsang Chalak retired because they were 75. For example, as far as I know, even Rachu Bhaiya was nearly 80 when he retired, and Sudarshan ji was a little less because he had problem with dementia, etc. Unfortunately, so depending on the health of the person decides to remit office or not. So Sarsang Chalak's office is a very highly regarded office as a guide and philosopher. So he's not, he doesn't fall into the category of 70 years, whatever. It is up to him or any other pracharak when they feel that they are not able to take that kind of heavy job of traveling continuously, they take a step back, say, okay, this is enough for me, give me some lighter responsibility. And if he's physically incapacitated, he will go back to the elders' home in RSS offices and he will just retire and just meet people, talk to people, etc. And Raju Bhai himself was there in Pune for his last few years. And as far as PM is concerned, political parties are concerned, this whispering came around 70 years again. If you look at Modi ji's health is better than even 65-year-old politicians and politicians who need regular health checkup and regular, health visits to different places. He doesn't need it. So I would not wish him to retire at 75. But it's again up to him because he's an unchallenged leader and he has taken India to new heights. So I don't think he should fall into that category. But again, it's his personal decision, just like what RSS people decide. They also have their own, BJP also has its own decisions. And overall, yes, Nanaji Deshmukh retired at the age of 60. He was doing very well. He was nominated as a minister, but some hint from the RSS chief that somebody should look at organization made him decide not to go ahead with the responsibility given to him as a cabinet minister. He started social work after that and lived long enough, I think nearly 30 years after that. So he also set up a model. Just so politicians, how they take their own view of the life, and we can just comment, we can just suggest. I think does a businessman retire? He should. Artha Dharma Kama Moksha, when we say we talk of four Chaturvarna, or four stages of light. So by after 60, we should be doing Vanprastha, starting from there. But they don't. So each one has his own passion. So similarly, if a Karyakarta is fit, I know Pracharaks of 88 years, 85 years working very well, and some of them retiring, as I said, even under 65. This all depends on the health.
Well, Shardaji, I would just like to add to that there has been a lot of discussion on this, how RSS has never liked a sort of a personality cult, and which is somehow visible in the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We saw many statements which were not exactly made about Prime Minister, but Mohan Bhagwat ji had made statements indicating in a way RSS displeasure with this kind of personality cult. So after the Lok Sabha election, of course, we see there is greater synergy between the two. But do you think that this is the third instance of the Prime Minister praising the RSS profusely? We saw in February during one of the events he had praised RSS for its efforts toward nation building. Then in a podcast recently with Lex Fridman, he had said that uh, he had again said that he had found a life of purpose because of the RSN, and this is now the third one, the banyan tree motive that he used. So, how do you look at all these issues in relation to not only this visit, but how will there be better coordination between the RSS as well as the BJP under Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Yes.
Okay, see, we must also look at Mohan Rao Bhagwat ji addresses at least 5, 6 meetings every day. There is a public program at least once in 2 days. He travels India continuously for every day. If you look at him, one day is in Chennai, next day in Delhi, next day in Guwahati, etc. So he keeps on making public statements, different places, different reasons. And
Right.
the lecture that is quoted are quoted during release of a book, for example, during felicitation of a very senior Karyakarta, for example. So it is with that reference that Sarsanga Chalaji makes a statement or makes one of the sentences in the entire lecture. If you look to the entire lecture, he talks about dedicated life of a Swayamsevak who gave his everything but never wanted any recognition. I know so many pracharaks. I have in my book, you'll find many names who never even let their biography be written, including Raju Bhaiya, including Dr. Hedgewar himself, who said, my biography is not worth writing. What am I? So with that sense of self-abnegation, that is where Mohanji makes a statement that a Karyakarta, when it becomes successful, should not have any ego. That is also part of our lore. That is part of our own basic training in RSS. Or when a book is written, then whether the book is for self-glorification or for the work, again, that is also looked at. Because way back in 48, when after partition, RSS Swayamsevaks gave their all, gave their lives to defend Sindhis and Punjabis and defend Kashmir, and large number of Swayamsevaks lost their life. I give one particular example of 33 activists of RSS in Amritsar who were killed with a detailed handmade documentation. None of them has been glorified. So when the book came out, Guruji refused to release it, saying that you work for your own family, you work for your own society. What is there to talk about? It is from this perspective that Mohanji's statement should be taken. Yes, in BJP there is personality projection of Modi ji because that is how the politics are developed in India. You look, entire dynasty parties have nothing to talk about but the leader. In this case, we have a leader who has done so much, and there is no equal to him in terms of his delivery, in terms of his efficiency. They're projecting it because that is how the Indian politics have turned to. Deendayal Upadhyay, we hardly know, who was president, who organized and created what today is BJP as the foundation stone, but not many people knew about him. Dr. Hedgewar now looms over us after 100 years. But when he died, nobody knew him. And as I said, they refused to write the biography also. Even Guruji's biography was written after he died. So that is how things are. So in way, we look at that as a particular design. As I again say that political parties, political principles and operations are very different from a social organization where everything is organization comes first, then you come, and first of all comes the nation. So on that ground, we should appreciate his lectures, but not picking up one particular sentence because it comes at a particular opportune time for media to throw around and say, "Oh, this is a rebuke to Modi ji." I don't take it that way.
Sharati, before we let you go, we have a question from a viewer, Aditya, who is asking that Bengal is a state which BJP has been eyeing for so long to win. Will the RSS be able to influence the voters of Bengal to vote for BJP, or is Mamata Banerjee too strong for both BJP and RSS that it will not be easy? Also, what kind of influence does RSS have in a state like Bengal, which is so highly polarized?
See, there are many questions within that. First, I'll speak about RSS. RSS has always worked in the adversity in last 80 years of independent India. Only 17 years of or 15 years of RSS have been under BJP governments. So it has worked under opposition in every state, in every place. Kerala is the biggest example where there are biggest persecution, largest number of Sensors killed, but still it is present in every village. It is the highest density per capita density Shakha network in Kerala. Similarly, in Bengal, like Kerala, the cadre of Kerala is basically from economic, socially weaker sections. So there's certain mindset where they are ready to work very hard in field and take up any challenge. Similarly, in Bengal, the base of RSS is among the poor, socially backward communities and rural areas. Unfortunately, in Bengal, the intelligentsia, the so-called Bhadralok, is out, negating everything that is happening in Bengal. They have negated the partition, they have negated the direct action violence, they have negated the violence of Siddharth Shankar under Congress, Jyoti Basu under CPM, now the murderous reign of Mamata Banerjee. If that is so, then naturally there is an area where BJP RSS haven't yet got the entry because these people are in the negationist mood. As far as TMC is concerned, if you look at the cadre, their on the ground violent cadre generally has come from Marxist Party. Even the cadre of RSS, which came from communist background in Kerala, were killed by communists. Similarly, in Bengal, the violent culture that has spread over last so many years, every party except BJP has been in the ruling class, and they have used this tool to suppress opposition. So it is the lack of this readiness to stand up to that violence or this obstruction is where the BJP RSS are there. If you ask anybody in the villages, you will say when violence was taking place, VHP, RSS, BJP workers, everybody worked together to save them, file FIR, etc. It is, if I were to be very frank, I would say that the state leadership or the so far and the central leadership so far has not been seen as the cadre who is looking directly reaching out to them and taking their care when they suffer persecution, they suffer violence. And that is where the gap you see. But I'm very sure BJP has also recognized that gap, and you have now leaders on the street who are standing with the cadre. So this misconception that BJP, state level leaderships or candidates come to fight the election from outside, go away as soon as the election is over. That perception must that's over, and the perception with the cadre that we are there to help them, and this polarization which works both ways by TMC, by certain communities, then BJP will also in a very good position. It is in a good position, but I said the violence that you see and the kind of blind-eyed support by the powers that be and the people who are in the power and the security forces of Bengal police, I would say, or their inability or the reluctance to file cases where High Court has to come into picture. These are the reasons why you find a certain I would say, final push that you're looking at. But the way now Kader is standing again, the way it's finding support from the state level and the central leadership, I'm sure things will improve. I'm not saying 2026 BJP will win because it again depends on a lot of factors, including the kind of oppressive regime that is there, including the polarization game that is being played, and including the cadres again readiness to face a very, I would say, oppressive regime. But I see hope definitely because on the ground there is no difference between the cadres of BJP or RSS or BHP.
Shadaji, thank you so much. It's been, as always, extremely insightful speaking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Neelam.
Thank you so
Thank
much, Sanya. Thank you, Shadaji.
you.